Hey there, welcome to the Empowered Edge, the podcast that gives you nutrition, mindset, and habit building strategies that actually work. I'm your host, Jenna Hostetler, registered dietitian, certified neurocoach, and your go-to guide to break free from burnout, cut through the health noise, and reclaim control of your body and brain. Each week, you'll get practical, science-backed strategies so you can stop second-guessing yourself, sharpen your focus, and finally feel like the woman who leads her life, not just survives it. Hey there! Today we are continuing the conversation with Hannah Aylward and getting into the deeper patterns behind gut dysfunction and the myriad of health issues it can contribute to. If you've ever wondered why bloating, anxiety, fatigue, sickness keep just showing up, this part of the interview will connect the dots. Let's dive in. So what are some things that you have seen with a lot of your clients in regards to, the gut health and just things that are kind of out of whack? Like, is there a commonality with a lot of people who come to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like with the issue itself.
Yeah, like anything that you are commonly having them improve.
Yes. Oh, so much. I mean, there's so much. So a big thing that we see is women under eating for sure. Like women aren't eating enough. Um, After all of this like diet culture programming that we've all been subjected to, most women aren't eating enough. Most women aren't eating enough protein for sure. Like, on average, the average woman who isn't like training for something, should be getting in about 100 grams of protein a day, which is like kind of hard if you're not paying attention. If you're having cereal for breakfast, no way. If you're having, if you're not eating, if you're not purposeful about it and intentional with it, like it's kind of hard. It's hard for me. I have to be like, if I don't have my smoothie, I don't hit my protein needs straight up. Like I need to get in that because the smoothie is so great. It's just easy to get in 20 to 30 grams. So it's an easy tool, but big things that we see are women under eating, and over exercising we'll see as well. Too stressed. I mean, the nervous system component to gut health, it can't be overlooked. So we'll see a lot of women who are very type A because I attract people like me. So we'll see a lot of people that are like go, 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 helping other people before they help themselves, people pleasing, putting their health and their needs last. And that over time is going to lead to gut issues because of how the nervous system and how stress impacts the gut physiologically. So I always say like stress doesn't just stay stress. Like a mental and emotional stressor doesn't just stay a mental and emotional stressor, because sometimes people will be told their IBS is because of anxiety and or stress. And while there is a component of that, over time, stress and anxiety will downregulate digestion. It'll weaken gut immune function. You'll set the environment for dysbiosis, for intestinal permeability. Like we know how it impacts things over time, right? That doesn't mean one stressful day is going to like wreck your gut, but it's like if you've been living undernourished and overstressed for years, which a lot of women have, it's not just a stress thing anymore. It's become a physiological, like biological thing. So we'll see more dysbiosis, fungal overgrowth, poor digestive output, weakened gut immune function. We see a lot because that's what stress will do. It'll weaken gut immune function. And when you weaken gut immune function, you're going to be more susceptible to pathogens, overgrowth, things like that. So while the exact picture like isn't exactly the same, we definitely see patternings. Like they're too stressed out, they're not eating enough, they're not resting enough. And a lot of women also, exercise 5, 6, 7 days a week. And while exercise is great, like it is a stressor. So when you're dealing with a gut that's already kind of not working super well, or you're dealing with a hormone imbalance, or you're dealing with like burnout, adrenal fatigue, like HPA axis dysfunction, working out 5 to 7 times a week probably isn't the best fit for you at this point, right? But we've been so programmed to like count your calories and exercise nonstop and do all of that it's leading to issues. Like women they're burning out and they're not nourished enough. So we see a lot of that, leading to gut issues down the line, because it's going to mess up thyroid and everything too. We'll see a lot of like birth control impacting gut health as well, hormonal birth control. And yeah, that's kind of a lot of the patterning we see. And once you get to the point where you have IBS can present in different ways. IBS is not a cause in itself. So there's always something causing your IBS symptoms, right? So if whether it's dysbiosis, it's low digestive output, it's poor gut immune function, the symptoms that will occur from those things can vary. So you could have dysbiosis and you could present with constipation. You could have dysbiosis, you could present with diarrhea. You could have dysbiosis, you could present with alternating between the two, which is like IBS, right? But there's something deeper. You could be presenting with nonstop bloating. Maybe you look like 6 months pregnant by the end of the day, right? That's a classic sign of dysbiosis in the large intestine. So don't go self-diagnosing, work with someone. But yeah, so we see similar patterning, but it can kind of present in different ways. But overall, we got to work on minerals. We've got to calm the nervous system. And one of the best ways to take stress off the body is to eat enough and make sure that you're nourished. So that we see a lot of. And then after that, kind of different things here and there.
Sure. Yeah, it's so sad, you know?
It's really sad. I was a chronic dieter. That's kind of how I got into this. It was like I just wore myself out, and then I got to the point where I couldn't digest anything. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. I was eating healthy foods. I was cooking all my foods. I was eating all raw foods. I was low FODMAP. I was this, I was that, and my stomach was just reacting to everything because I had just overdone it. Like it was like chronic dieting for years, so much stress, over exercising, childhood trauma, antibiotics. Boom, I can't digest anything, So it is sad. I wish I knew then what I know now, because once you realize what the body actually needs, you're like, everything we've been told is really harmful. We've been really programmed to, for quick results. Like if I do this for 1 week, I'll lose whatever. But long term, it's like, no.
So what did you do to start getting yourself back on track if you were in such a state of like you said, like you can't digest anything?
Yeah, it was a process, and I really had to identify what was going on in my gut. I was dealing with some SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which will happen after years of undereating and chronic stress, because when you undereat, you're going to produce less stomach acid over time. So there's a huge correlation between, I forget the percentage, it's like 90 something percent. I don't know exactly off the top of my head right now, but 90 something percent of women that have had like patterns of eating disorder tendencies or have dealt with an eating disorder end up with a functional gastrointestinal issue. So because we know when we don't eat enough, everything just like it starts to shut down, right? You also need certain nutrients to even produce stomach acid and to support your thyroid and all of that. So I had to really take a look at that. I had to look at what was actually happening in my gut, which was I was dealing with some SIBO. My gut immune system was just destroyed. And I had to start eating more. I was actually eating more of like a vegan diet before, and it was just not, my body was screaming out for help, but I just wasn't listening to it. So I had to start eating more. I had to really start prioritizing protein. And I really, really had to take a look at like how I was talking to myself and how I was treating myself and my nervous system, my like hypervigilance, my like always on, always reacting, always stressed tendencies. And that was the hardest work. Yes, there were supplements. Yes, there were food changes, but like I had done a million of those. That was easy for me. And when the elimination diet, when I found myself living on an elimination diet and it wasn't even working, I was like, okay, something else is happening here. So I had to really take a look at my gut environment. Was I actually digesting my food properly? Did I have overgrowth, which I did, things like that. And then I had to really take a look at my nervous system, which no one really wants to do because it's hard. You have to look at your boundaries and you've got to look at your patterns and all of that and where you picked them up. And it takes a second to work through that kind of stuff and be like, wow, I always put everyone before I even, put myself. And I am always stressed, or I'm really reacting to everything, or whatever it might be, or taking the grip away from always needing to be on a diet or all of that, like the way I was talking to myself was just horrible. It was like my gut journey became a self-love journey. Like it wasn't just my gut. It was like, whoa, I have to take a look at everything. And I would look at my body and I just hated my body. And So all of these things, it's like when you're working with that energy underneath it all, like you can't heal in that state when you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like I just want to fix this, this, and this. Like it's not, your body doesn't like that. It doesn't feel safe, right? So my journey required a lot of different things other than just like taking a good probiotic. Like it wasn't just that. Probiotics are great, don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna, you can't take a probiotic and expect it to fix all of your issues when you've got these other things going on, you know? So everyone's journey is different, but I would say most of the women that we work with also need to take a look at that kind of stuff. Like, wow, I've been like running nonstop and I never rest, or I do intermittent fast and I run on adrenaline and cortisol and things like that. Like they've really got to take a look at that kind of stuff if they want to sustainably get better.
And just real quick, when you mentioned running on adrenaline, my first thought is diet pills.
Oh gosh.
Like that's what they're for,
Yeah.
suppress your appetite and you don't need to eat and you have all this energy because you're running on caffeine almost. And that I'm sure that just perpetuates gut health too.
Oh yeah.
Sure doesn't help with real weight loss.
Oh no, no. I mean, like, I literally like that like hurt. It hurts my heart to even hear that. I'm like, no, no, no. Yeah. Well, we know. I mean, we know cortisol will wear away at the mucosal lining of the gut. So like, we know it's going to negatively impact your digestion. It's not just like a thought, right? We can see that it will downregulate gut immune function. It will wear away the mucosal layer of your gut lining. Like, well, we also can see people after they run marathons and stuff, like their cortisol is higher, their gut is more damaged. The gut lining will always, I think it begins to repair and kind of turn over like every 5 to 7 days. But if you're intermittent fasting and then you're just drinking coffee and you're not eating until 2 p.m. and you're taking diet pills, your body cannot, like, it cannot repair, you know? So yeah, I mean, we know that these stress hormones are not, cortisol is not bad, like period. Like there's more to the story. It can be very helpful. We need it, of course. Because when you have very low levels, like you'll also feel terrible, but it's not, yeah, diet pills, like don't do it. Don't do it. It will negatively impact your digestion. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, so I have to ask you another question, and if you don't want to go there, that's fine. But you mentioned intermittent fasting and then coffee. And of
Yeah.
course, my first thought is, you have some coffee, you stick, some oil, some cream in there,
Yeah.
and then you're still kind of in that fasting state, and it gets you through to lunch. So
Yeah.
that seems like, coffee, almost empty stomach, like that seems like it's probably also not good for your gut then, is it?
Yeah, I would say like the exact mechanism in like the impact on gut health is not quite like this equals this, but yes, if it's revving up your cortisol levels, it's not going to positively impact your gut health long term. Most women, and I've spoken out about this, and I always get questions on it because intermittent fasting also has there's a lot of research behind it. Like there have been amazing studies, but not a lot are done on menstruating women, as I mentioned. So we're just more like sensitive hormonally. And it's most people will feel kind of better at first. Like this is usually how it goes. People feel actually very clear and alert and good at first. You feel lighter. Because you're running on cortisol, because those stress hormones are designed, like the stress hormones are designed to put you like you're ready to run, right? You're like, digestion's an afterthought. It's not important at this moment. We're like, where's the tiger? We're getting ready to run. We're fighting for our lives type deal. So you're very clear. You'll feel good at first until you don't. Could be a month, could be 2 months, could be 6 months, but eventually you'll start. What I see a lot in people is we'll see anxiety levels go up. We'll see people have issues sleeping through the night properly. The appetite will get all sort of dysregulated. Usually after you do eat your first meal, you'll be like, whoa, I'm exhausted, because your blood sugar has just like, you're just crashing afterwards. So, do I think one day here and there is going to like wreck your gut? No. That's just like life that happens. But it's like, if you're in that pattern of where you're just fasting and then you're drinking caffeine and then you're just waiting until noon or two or whatever, it would not be my recommendation. And I did it. I mean, I've done it, and that's exactly how it went. I felt great. And then I felt awful. And I was like, I actually can't sleep. Like I'm waking up in the middle of the night because your blood sugar is all wacky. But I think if you are having a cup of coffee, like I love my coffee. I've got some coffee right next to me. if you have it with eggs and like toast and like, or fruit or whatever, you're probably going to be okay. I would just say eat something with it. If you are doing a coffee in the morning and you're going to do your workout, maybe you don't want something super heavy like herd, throw some collagen in there, throw some cream in there, throw even a scoop of protein powder in there, like get something in your body, have one hard boiled egg. Like I'd rather you eat something small than nothing at all.
Okay. Good to know. Real super good tip, because I know just off the top of my head several people who that's just kind of what they do, you know.
Yeah, I did it for so long. And then I was like,
Sometimes I still do it.
yeah, oh, me too. Me too. Like no one's perfect, things happen. But yeah, I did it and I was kind of like, I wasn't, the thing is like I wasn't even losing weight. Like I was just doing it. And then I was like retaining things and then I couldn't build muscle because I didn't have enough of what I needed to build muscle. So yeah, I have walked women through eating more and it feels very scary at first because you're like, what? I'm terrified. So a lot of women are very afraid to gain weight, which I can hold space for. It's a whole, I can talk about that like in a whole other session, but like, why is that so scary to so many of us? But I can hold that space like of being scared, but I have seen so many women start to slowly eat more and exercise less intensely, and they see the benefits of their workouts more because they're not in this like hyperactive catabolic state anymore.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest change that you've seen in one or some of your clients?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a story.
There's just so many. I mean, it's such an honor to do this work, truly. But we've had people in and out of the hospital before, and then come out of our program and working with us with no digestive issues. So it's like when you really get into the gut work, I mean, it's game changing, right? One person comes to mind. She was in the hospital and then she was diagnosed with C. diff. And then she, she was put on an antibiotic, went to her doctor afterwards, and the doctor was like, "You're good. Like, come back in 6 months." But she was like, not good. She wasn't in the hospital anymore, but her quality of life was just horrible. Her appetite was all weird. She was like constipated for a week and then couldn't stop going to the bathroom, and she was bloated, and her anxiety was up. She was having migraines. All of this stuff was going on. And after working with us, like it's all gone. She no longer takes Tylenol for her headaches. Her anxiety is much better. Her hunger cues are better. But beyond all of that, beyond like quite literally having no digestive issues anymore, when it was impacting everything in her life, she loves herself more. And that's like the most important work to me. Like she honors her body more. She knows how to listen to her body. She trusts her body more, because anyone that's been there with the chronic digestive issues knows that when you're flaring after everything, like you lose faith and trust in your body. It goes much deeper than just like, oh, I have to eat gluten-free or whatever. It's like you're looking for the bathroom, you're scared to eat out, you're staying in more, you're like building your outfits around how you think your stomach will respond. Like it impacts everything, your relationships. So it's not just about like, oh, I'm no longer bloated. To me, it's like, this is how I change the world. This is how I help women step into their power, is they start to treat themselves with love. They repair their gut health. And then when they feel connected and trusting of their bodies and they feel better, they can go out and do anything. So it goes a little bigger than just the bloating for me. Of course, getting rid of the bloating is great, but not feeling like when you're in that pattern of like nothing's working, you start to play small. Like it just you get smaller. You stay at home, you hide, you're scared. So to see a woman go through the process and really like become big again, like become like strong and courageous and intuitive and all of that again, is like that's the real work. But we can help you get rid of lots of digestive issues too.
Yeah, and you're so right. And for anybody who's not had to deal with big digestive issues, it's so much more than just, up, I gotta go to the bathroom again. Like
Yeah.
it really can script your life. So that's awesome that you can see, those types of changes in people and getting them back to who they should be.
Yes, getting them back. Like we talk, I've got two functional registered dietitians on my team, and we talk about all the things, but it's very often we come back to like, we're just helping these women like trust and find themselves again. Like that's really the core of the work, through gut work and nervous system and all of that stuff. But yeah, it can cause so much anxiety, and then before you know it, your whole life is revolving around your gut issues, your digestive issues. And that's no way to live. Like we can't build the business. We can't take the trip. We can't start the relationship. We won't go on the date. We won't, do any of those things if we feel like we got to stay home because we're scared and we're anxious and all of that. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was so good to have you here today. And everyone, that 3-day gut reset that we mentioned earlier is the free download. So for sure, grab that and play with it and see what it can do for you. But yeah, thank you again. Where can people find you to learn more about what you do and your work?
Yes. So I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very active on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is just my first and last name and then HHC. So it's Hannah Aylward HHC. So I do mini trainings on the stories. I do free live trainings. Like I'll do like a training once a week. And honestly, if you just scroll through my Instagram posts, you would learn a ton. So I do give a lot of value there. And I also try to do weekly Q&As, like Wednesday Q&As. So I'm just like very active on there, answering people's questions and trying to help them all the time. And then my website as well is just hannahaylward.com. There you can find the 3-day gut reset. You can find my Gut Happy Eats program. That's a great starter program for anyone who just is like not quite ready to like invest in functional testing and one-on-one and all of that stuff, but is like looking to feel better and kind of see how nutrition can really help impact their digestive health. That's a great place to start. And then after that, we've got like bigger programs. My signature Healing Guts and Shaken Butts program is like what we're known for, where we use functional testing and all of that. But Instagram and my website are probably the biggest. Yeah.
And definitely check out those recipes on the website because they're incredible.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I know it's like time we put out another recipe book. I was just talking about this. It's just a big project, but we'll get there.
One thing Hannah said in the beginning that I want to revisit is how many women she sees who are undernourished. They're under eating, they're overexercising, they're stressed, and they are putting others' needs first. And a long-term lifestyle of that is going to lead to gut dysfunction, like Hannah said, and low immune response, chronic disease, so many other things that will affect your life. Stress and malnourishment are 2 key factors that can have a domino effect on your health and your overall quality of life. And I also think it's really important to emphasize too that malnourishment doesn't just come from undereating. You can be overfed and malnourished. You can be overweight and be malnourished. Just because you're eating enough calories doesn't mean you're getting the nutrients that your body needs. And for a lot of people, this is the busiest, most stressful time of the year. So I encourage you to start noticing where your stressors are coming from and ask yourself what you need to do to reduce that stress. And even if you can't completely eliminate the emotional stress, equipping your body to handle stress with proper nutrition can completely shift how you feel and how much energy you have. And if you know that these next couple months are going to be extra difficult for you, and if you know that you want this year to be different, then you need my Energy Multiplier Blueprint. I created it for busy women who are tired of running on caffeine and want to feel like they actually have time and have energy for life beyond their responsibilities. So if that sounds like you, go to energymultiplierblueprint.com and make this year different. There is no reason to be running on empty, to be drained all the time, to feel like your life controls you and you are not leading your life. It is easy, it is simple, the frameworks in there make it so doable to have more energy, to eat well, to plan. So make this year different. Give yourself a leg up for next year and make January a year where you're already thriving and not trying to start over from square one because you let yourself go. Don't do it. So, and again, energymultiplierblueprint.com. Take action, stay empowered, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week. Okay, now before you pop off, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the one episode that could change your life. And give us a 5-star review if you learned something new today. If you want to check out all the awesome free guides, templates, and resources I've given away on this podcast, go to theneurodietitian.com/resources. You can grab anything you want, but only if you'll do it. Because information without implementation is worthless. And here at The Empowered Edge, we're action takers, not excuse makers.